Good morning, Year 10. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. Please could you write the date and title, Exam Skills, English Language Paper 1. So do now. Please write down the date and the title in your book and underline both. Reread the 2 extracts you have looked at last lesson to refresh your memory. They've been uploaded to class charts once again, so please pause the video to do that now. Okay, so task 3. I would like you to review question 3. So question 3 was, how does the writer use language and structure to convey the advantages and disadvantages of his job? Support your ideas by referring to the text using relevant subject terminology. So what I'd like you to do is reread what you wrote last lesson, then refer back to the text to see if you can spot anything new. Pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes to do that now. Okay, so these are your possible answers. So in terms of language points, you could have written the following. The writer creates an informal conversational tone by using the second person pronoun to address the reader. You wouldn't believe. Informal language, stuff, perks, and contractions, such as let's face it, incorporating the first person plural pronoun, us. The writer uses an extended metaphor to compare criticism of fast food to a wartime attack. The war against processed food has spawned a barrage of claims about our food. The writer responds by using a rhetorical question. Why do people keep coming back for more? And modifying the word pleasure with the word guilty to suggest that critics are hypercritical. So possible structural points. The writer begins by using a 3-part list of customer complaints to acknowledge the disadvantages of the job. The prices are up, the fries are cold, and they can't find bacon on their burger. The writer uses contrast to challenge the reader's expectations. Speaking of food, everyone assumes I'd be sick of it by now, but to me, all food is delicious. The writer develops this idea by using more detailed contrast between greasy and natural food. It's amazing how quickly I got used to everything being greasy. It just feels natural now. The balance of advantages and disadvantages is expressed again by writing, if you eat fried food every day, you're going to pile on the pounds, and emphasised by alliteration. Okay, so please can you make a note of the language and structural points in your book, please? So pause the video while you copy them down. Okay, so question 4. Question 4 is worth 18 marks, 12 for evaluation of statement, and 6 for comparing the 2 texts. You should try to make this a detailed response. Compare 3 to 4 points using evidence from both of the texts, linking them to the statement and also to the reader. You can block your points by looking at text 1 first, and then 2, and then comparing them. If you are looking for a more sophisticated answer, you need to compare throughout the response as you answer the question, how far do you agree with the statement? Using linking phrases, both text 1 and 2, similarly, however, alternatively. Create a list of connectives that you can rely on, and they should be for similarities and differences. Remember, it is an evaluation question, therefore you should at least bookend your answer by evaluating at the beginning and at the end. However, if you evaluate throughout the response, you would receive a better remark. You must link to the statement and to the reader for each point also. One text will fit the statement more closely than the other. So please can you pause the video to make a note of what's on this slide. Okay, so please can you copy down this question and have a go at answering it. Both writers give a vivid description of a challenging and unpleasant job. How far do you agree? This is the question you're answering. How far you agree. You should discuss what they find challenging and unpleasant about their jobs. Explain how far each job is challenging and unpleasant. Compare how far the writers present their jobs as challenging and unpleasant, and support your response with quotations from both texts. Please pause the video and have a go at answering this question. And so the last thing you need to do for this lesson is check your answer. So we're looking at comparisons, AO3, and also evaluation, AO4. So this is the kind of thing you need to write. In the first text, the writer wants to persuade the reader that her working conditions are unpleasant, whereas in the second text, the writer wants to argue that his job has some benefits. In the first text, the effects are very serious. For example, the workers are hurried to their graves, whereas in the second text, the worst effect is that the writer piles on the pounds. The first text presents the need to work as stern necessity, whereas the second text refers almost humorously to how he needs to fund my mobile phone habit. Some evaluation points. Some evaluation points. The writer of the first text is trying to persuade the readers of a newspaper to share her anger about her underpaid and overworked job in a factory. The writer of the second text is trying to give a balanced account of the good and bad sides of the job. It is not only the job that is challenging, but the fact that no one is willing to help women factory workers to find a remedy for the evils we are suffering from. The writer contrasts the tedious nature of serving the same meal over and over again with the unexpected perks of the job. The adverb fearfully emphasizes how low the wages are, which forces them to work so many hours that life loses its savour and the work becomes a drudgery. The short opening paragraph lists common complaints about how the prices are up, the fries are cold, and they can't find the bacon on their burger. In the next paragraph, the writer balances the unpleasant, the greasy food, and the tendency to pile on the pounds by writing that there is actually a variety of delicious food. So please do note down what's on this slide. And that is the end of today's lesson. So thank you very much for your work today. I hope you now have a better understanding of paper 1 and the structure of the language exam. So thank you very much, and I'll speak to you next week.